Good evening. We're going to get started shortly. I am really hoping that each of you all have had a great day. Just to let you know, we are broadcasting via Instagram Live and also Facebook Live. Yeah, we're moving on, folk. I'm really excited about all of this. But I do want to share with you all that we've had a very exciting month, and our month is coming to an end. Can you believe it's almost June? Can you believe it's almost June? And it seems like this year just got started, but this year we've lost. But again, June is almost here, and I hear the kids are getting out of school. And I said, when did they start school? So at this point, summertime is fastly approaching us. Here in Atlanta, we are facing some bipolar weather. Some days it's real cool and some days it's extremely hot. So we're just adjusting and not complaining because it could be a whole lot worse. Hello, how are you, Shabazz? But I'm really happy that you all are on, and I'm very happy that we're able to bring this to you. I'm Dr. Willie Miles. I am the president of Dr. Willie Miles Children's Foundation located in Atlanta, Georgia. And I say that each evening, each of our broadcasts, because we have some new people coming on. I know my old friends are following us. You already know who I am. But again, it's for the benefit of those who are just joining us. But the foundation is a nonprofit organization that makes, and our mission really is to make children our priority. We felt we should do that. That we're not focusing on a whole bunch of areas. We're focusing on children and how everything affects children. So again, that is our focus. I do want to say I'm just really excited about our Facebook followers, and I'm very excited about our old timers, our Instagram followers. I have a few announcements. I do want to share that. Now, don't y'all leave me when I tell you this. I'm going to do the show a little bit differently tonight. We're going to have the topic. I'm going to ask some of you all to join us live. So if you don't have your makeup on yet, put your makeup on. But whatever you got to do, make sure you're dressed. But I'm hoping that you all will join me live and have the conversation that we are going to be talking about tonight. I do want to share for those who have been consistently asking me for certificates. Trust me, I've not forgotten about them. They're still in development phase. She said, what are you developing? Well, we actually have a creative artist who's actually doing those certificates. We didn't want just any kind going to you. We want to make sure they represent us well. So those are, I approved that proofed on yesterday. So hopefully they'll be getting out before the end of the week. And some of y'all got a lot of hours. I think the Henrys got like 58 hours. My goodness. And almost up to 70. So I'm really happy that they've almost watched every episode we've had. So I'm really excited. Thank you all. Thank you, the Henry family, for watching us and sharing the word throughout Georgia. And for those of you who are sharing throughout the country that we are doing these kinds of programming. I do want to mention that also this is Mental Health Month. And folk, Mental Health Month is no joke. It's time for us to really focus on mental health and also make mental health a priority and change the stigma of mental health and those who receive those kind of services. I do want to share with y'all that I do have some concerns about our mental health in the midst of COVID. Some of you all may not be aware that you may be having some symptoms of depression, not knowing where it's coming from, not knowing what caused it, simply being shut up in the house, simply being told what you cannot do, simply not going about your daily activities it can cause depression and can also cause anxiety, and it can also affect your moods. So be sensitive to those things that are happening around you and with you. If you're having some unexplained moodiness, if you're having some unexplained depression, well, I think the pandemic really has caused a lot of that. And if you're seeing your children experiencing anything that's different, I'm not blaming everything on the pandemic, but I am saying that a trauma is anything that's life altering. And the pandemic was life altering. We had to change the way we live almost. So I just want to bring that out to you in the midst of Mental Health Awareness Month. I also want to make you aware that in Atlanta, we're having a lot of killings, and everybody wants to blame everybody for it. Everybody wants to blame the mayor. Some wants to blame the governor. The governor wants to blame the mayor, and the city council wants to blame everybody. But the greater issue is, folks, the issue is the access to assault weapons. And in Atlanta, not just one person is dying with a shooting. These people are shooting 5 people. So every day on the news, I'm hearing 5 people shot, 5 people shot, 5 people dead. So it's time for us really to buckle down and take a look at what we're doing, and it has something to do with our our constitutional rights. Has to do with, do we need assault weapons on the street? Do we need those kind of weapons on the street? All right, so here we are. I think we covered everything for our Instagram followers and for our Facebook followers. I think I've covered everything. I do want to go over some of the live streams we've had for the last couple of weeks. May 4th, divorce, does it affect children? And the answer was emphatically yes. May 11th, same-sex parents, its impact on children's sexuality. I think we all can say very little impact or no impact. Tonight is a very interesting topic. Parent-child friendships, pros and cons. Parent-child friendship, pros and cons. And next week will be, the topic is when parents use their children as pawns against the other parent. Now, we try to get these topics for you, that things we actually experience on a daily basis in our practice, in my practice at least. So as a therapist, I find myself oftentimes treating children who are the result of parents going through divorce and parents using those children as pawns, and the children not knowing what to do or how to react, and sometimes feeling like in the middle of things. All right, so much for that. All the announcements out of the way. I do want to share that our giving campaign is going to start in June. So, hey, folks, get your purse, wallets, and everything ready. Make sure you donate to us. All right? We are a nonprofit organization, a 501c3. All right, let's get to our topic tonight. Wow. Should you be friends with your children? You know, that is just an awesome topic. I do want to share, you see Jackie's not on. Jackie is in the air right now. She's flying back to Florida, so she won't be with us tonight. She said, ask some of your followers to co-host with you tonight. So that's what I'm doing. So if you want to come on with me to discuss this, all you do is push join us live and you'll be on with us. All right. Now, folks, don't be scared. I need y'all to actually help me out tonight now, because I'll be on to 9 o'clock if y'all don't help me out. All right. Should you be friends with your children? You know, that it's amazing, because some parents think they should be friends with their children. They get friendly mixed up with friends. What do you all think? Now, I have some cases where I have parents who think that they are being modern. They think that they are being up to date and allowing a open household and open parenting by saying, I want my daughter to be my best friend, or I want my son to be my best friend. But the amazing thing about this, many times parents will say that, but ask the child, what do they want? And oftentimes they're nowhere near that. And oftentimes there's conflict between the parent and the child, because the parent wants to be the child's friend, and the child says, no, you're my mom, or you're my dad. So kids are watching the parents. You know, our topic is, kids see what you do. And when you talk about being friends with your children, that's a very fine line, a very fine line. And, we have to define what this friend thing is. I think I know what friend is. Friend is somebody who I hang out with. Friend is someone who I tell my most intimate secrets, my best friend. Friend is someone who I go to when I'm in trouble or when I want to talk about my partner. So that's what a friend is. So is that what you want your child to be for you? Do you want to have this kind of relationship with your child where you can go and tell your child that, your dad is cheating on me, and that's what men do. Your dad is no good, and we've not had sex in 6 months. Well, folks, these may sound outlandish, but I have cases where adults have told their children that kind of stuff. They began to confide in the child. And why should parents not confide in the children? I'm going to ask one of you all to join me live at this point, if you will. Don't all of you all rush now at one time. All you do is join the live stream live, and I'll be more than happy to click you on. I do feel that it's very dangerous to befriend your children at that level. Because when you befriend your children at that level, it puts your parenting on a different level. In other words, you're wanting to be the child's friend, but when it comes time to discipline, you want to exert your power. Well, friends don't exert power over friends. Friends don't exert power over friends. But the thought I have though is like, why would an adult want to be a friend with their child? Now, I didn't say be friendly, I said be a friend. That means we hang out together all the time. We talk about things of common interest. We laugh and we giggle and all that kind of stuff. To me, when I start looking at the parent and child relationships, I start looking at what's developmentally appropriate. What's developmentally appropriate? Well, the parent most certainly can't be an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old. So how are you going to be their bestie? Because they wear skinny jeans, you're going to wear them also, right? Because they dye their hair pink or green or whatever color they have, you're going to do yours that way. Because you're relating to the child. Well, I don't think you're relating. I think you have some other things that are going on in your life. Some other things that have gone on. And sometimes you try to relive your life through your children's life. And what a disadvantage that is for children. What a disadvantage that is for children. Where the mom wants to go on the date with the girl and her boyfriend. Because, we're just, she's my friend. People, I'm not making this up. These are some real things that are happening. How the mom says, I'm going to wear this. Let's dress alike. The mom's dress is provocative. The child's dress is provocative. A real fine line. I'm going to share again that it's okay to be friendly with your children, but to become your child's friend is a little dangerous. It is a little dangerous. On a past show, I think it was in 2018, a co-anchor, Erica Hill, pointed out that parents often feel tempted to become a child's best friend because they want the child, to feel comfortable. They want the child to feel comfortable, and they want the child to feel that they are not like, quote unquote, other parents. Well, I'll share this with you. When it comes to you becoming your child's best friend, you're really confusing the child. You're really confusing them because he or she doesn't know whether or not they should be the adult or the child. And they also begin to feel they have liberties. Liberties. Because mom understands me and she's down. Our dad understands me and he's down. My mom smokes. She doesn't care if I smoke because she understands it. My mom's cool like that. We're friends. Dangerous boundaries. Oh, my mom allows my boyfriend to sleep over because we're not doing anything. She knows that. My mom's just cool. Dangerous boundaries. I shouldn't say boundaries like there's really no boundaries. Dangerous. Some parents relish on having their daughter be their friend. Some men relish, they love it that their son hangs out with them, which means that dad is married, Son sees dad whistling at other women, trying to pick them up. Hey, babe, in front of the son. But he says, I feel comfortable doing that because my son, like, we down like that. We're down like that. He's my friend. He's my best buddy. Well, I just don't understand how an adult who's the parent can say their child is their best buddy. Could there possibly be some issues? Could there possibly be some issues when the child becomes the best buddy? Are you going to listen to the child give you advice on relationships? Are you going to listen to the child give you advice on parenting? Are you going to allow the child to give you advice on tell you what you should be doing since you're besties? About things in life? Well, the parent's role is kind of different because you've experienced a whole lot. Well, you should have. Where you can train the child versus they're my bestie. They're my bestie. I want you to think about that. And no one has joined me live yet. I tell you, I'm feeling so alone here. But I'm going to keep rolling. Keep rolling. If you want to join me live, please do. Our topic is the pros and cons of parents being their child's friend. Well, the question I pose, though, is when do you not become a friend? If you're the child's friend, on what situations are you not the friend? Because friends don't discipline each other. And friends don't financially support each other. I'm talking about being a provider. Being a provider. And if you are doing that with your friend, you need to make an appointment with me. Becoming my child's best friend. We've established that it is dangerous. And why is it dangerous? Because it confuses a child. Because it confuses a child. I'm my child's best friend, and my child is my best friend. But it's kind of strange. You sometimes want to take a step back and take a look at why do you want that in the first place? What does it do for you? What does you being your child's friend do for you? Does it make you feel younger? Does it make you feel in the in group? Or are you having some midlife stuff at 30? I want to make sure we're clear on this. It's okay for you to be friends or be friendly to your child. You should be friendly. You should be warm. You should be harmonious. You should be genuine. But it's dangerous territory when you become their bestie and their friend. Okay, ready for this? Because my son is my best friend, my son hangs out where I hang out. My son smokes what I smoke. My son drinks what I drink. Because he's my friend. Where are the boundaries? And when can you ever tell him or direct him on positive things if he's your bestie? It's okay for him to smoke. I get it. I'm cool. I'm dad. He's my friend. The children will usually grow up to disrespect you and have some issues with you because you were too free with them, because you were a friend. And to the child is always the child. Always the child. How is it that you allow your child to drink with you, but then you find out he's drinking with others and you want to discipline him? Kind of contradictory and kind of hypocritical. Oh, okay. It's okay for me to drink with you, But then if I drink with others, you then gonna play dad. Oh, okay. Oh, it's okay for you and I to hang out at places you know I shouldn't be. But when I go there by myself, you have an issue with it. Oh, it's okay when you keep me out of school because you say, I got you. I understand. But when I don't want to go to school, you have an issue with it. Dangerous, dangerous when you begin to befriend your children. And it's all about boundary issues. And parents, I want to share with you that once you cross that line with boundaries, folk, it's hard to come back. Once you cross that line with boundaries with your children, it is hard to come back. Children watch what you do and not what you say. Children watch what you do and not what you say. But the question again is, why do you want to become your child's best friend? Think about this. Have you all ever had someone who wanted you to be their friend, but you didn't want to be their friend? Have any of you all on Instagram or on Facebook know someone who wanted to be your friend so bad, but you didn't want to be their friend? I think we've all experienced that. It's a bad feeling when you're trying to push yourself on me and I don't want to be involved with you. Many children are faced with telling their parents, can I date by myself? Why are you always coming around when my boyfriend comes around? Or a male child, can I hang out till like 3 o'clock in the morning? I am 15 and you said we're besties. You said you got me. So why can't do that? Oh, I see. So when I'm with you, I can violate all the rules. But when I try to violate those same rules with someone else, you want to play mom and dad. Are you understand what I'm saying? That it's a lot of boundary conflicts. And it sends a very wrong message for children. I have a case whereas there's a mother who wants to be her son's best friend. And the son does not want the mom to be his best friend. So when things are going on that the young man is involved in for his age, mom gets involved and saying like, what are you doing? I want to join you also. And he's saying, no. And then what happens, mom gets offended. And then when mom gets offended, she plays the power role. When he rejects her, she rejects him by taking all electronic equipment from him. It is a power trip. And that's my whole point is, don't befriend your children. Because once you cross that boundary, folk, there is no turning back. Now you can say, oh, I'll turn back because I'm the parent. That child's going to constantly remind you of the things that you did in front of him or her, which was inappropriate. And they're going to make you always eat that. That I recall when I was 14 years old, you took me to a strip bar. And people, this sounds outlandish, but it's not. It is not. There are some people, some men, and I don't always be so negative about men, but these are cases, whereas the male knew he could not leave the house because a wife would suspect him. So he would take his son with him. while he saw his mistress, he would tell his son that we're besties. You know, we're men, we're best friends. So men have secrets. So he tells his son, now, don't tell mom where I was, because that ain't how we roll. Like, for instance, sometimes you'll do things I won't tell mom either. Boundary violations, boundary violations, boundary violations. What does the adult get out of this? Why does an adult want to be their child's best friend? Why do they want this friendship? And what do they need from this child that they didn't get when they were younger? I suspect that the adult who befriends their children didn't have very many friends when they were young themselves. And or they went through a very terrible situation with a friend. Or something happened between a friend. And so therefore, they made this a commitment. I will never have friends anymore. I'll only be friends with my children. They're the only ones I can trust. I'll only be friends with my children. Dangerous, very dangerous boundary issues. Now, when I began to think about the needs of a parent, of an adult who befriends a child, I then began to think that they may have missed a lot of developmental stages. They may have missed a lot of developmental stages. And they try to live their life. They try to relive their teenagehood through their children. They try to relive experiences they did not experience as children. So here they are now, 40 years old, wanting to look like their 13-year-old daughter and dress like their 13-year-old daughter and have a friend relationship with their 13-year-old daughter, which means the parent then has to become a 13-year-old. Are y'all see what I'm going? The parent has to become a 13-year-old to befriend the 13-year-old. Wow. You know, it's just kind of amazing to me that parents think they can be at the child's level, but you can never be. I want you to hear this now. You can never be at the same level as your child. You can't, because of your own life experiences and because you have the authority over the child. Ready? You can't have authority over someone and be at the same level and be their friend. You can't have authority over someone if you're at their same level and you're their friend. That tells you right there's a problem. There's a problem. I love this part where as parents befriend their children and then start interacting with their children's boyfriends or girlfriends. In other words, the parents become closer to their children's boyfriends, girlfriends than the children are. Once you cross that boundary, it's hard to come back. There are some parents who actually get very involved in their children's relationship with their boyfriend, girlfriend, and they become jealous. They become jealous because of their own past experiences or lack of experiences. They then began to think that they are the same age of their child. I know it sounds wild, but some have even dated their children's boyfriend, girlfriends. That's another story. That's another story. Serious, serious boundary issues. The question again is, what is it that I'm really wanting from my child? Why do I want to be my child's friend? That's the first thing. Why do I want to be my child's friend? A lot of parents think that it's really, modern. My son and I are friends. My daughter and I are friends. Well, you can't have authority over your friends. So you can't be a parent and a friend at the same time. So parents, you got to make a decision. You cannot be a parent and a friend at the same time. Also, what's going to happen is that if you are your child's friend, that means you're going to be giving some very faulty information, not as a parent, but as a friend. And as a parent, I give information to my children that's going to guide them to be the best they can be. Not, okay, do what you want to do. I got you. We all make mistakes. Go out there and try it. Conflicting information for children. The key word tonight, folk, if you don't get anything else, remember boundaries. Boundaries. Once you cross those boundaries with your children, once you cross the boundary with your children, there is no turning back. I want to clarify this. It's okay to be friendly to your children. You should be friendly to your children. You should be loving to your children, but you should not want to be your child's friend. Because once you go there, folk, there is no turning back. So I want to open the door now for some questions or comments. You can put your questions in the chat box, comment box that you may have about this. I also invited some of you all to join me live. Jackie's not here tonight, so I need somebody to co-host for me. So if you are interested in doing that, just hit on Instagram, hit the I want to join you live, and I'll be more than happy to accept that. But I want to ask, have many of you all experienced in your life, or you know someone who was an adult, a parent, and they wanted to become, or they were, their child's friend? Do you have any experiences like that? If you do, it wears out quickly. It wears out quickly. What we're talking about tonight, we're talking about the pros and cons of becoming your child's friend, your child's bestie. People, I kind of don't get that. I just don't get it. I just don't, when you look at people developmentally, when you look at adults and adult needs and adult conversations and adult interactions, I just don't see how children could ever or should ever intermingle in that. But my daughter's my best friend. But it also sounds like a codependent adult, the adult who needs sort of like a validation that they're younger. They need a validation that they still can sort of like attract young people and that they're still relevant. Parents who want their children as their best friend. Okay. Any comments or questions? But as we're thinking about this, this a parent wanting to be a best friend, it really teaches the child the wrong thing. It really does. It teaches the child the wrong thing. It's teaching the child how to be an adult before they're developmentally able and ready to be. They're teaching the child how to be an adult before they're developmentally ready to. And, or what's even more dangerous, the child is teaching the parent how to be a child. Y'all may say, that doesn't happen. When parents start saying, what are you into? What's the newest style? I want to wear it also. Let's get our hair done alike. Let's do this together. Let's go shopping together. We'll buy the same kind of clothes. We'll buy the same kind of makeup. Oh, by the way, we like the same kind of guys. Are y'all with me? Dangerous. Now, the topic was supposed to be about pros and cons. And I ain't gave you too many pros. The only pro that I can give you is that it is okay. It is okay to be a friend. I'm sorry, to be friendly with your children, but it's not okay to be your child's friend. If we were to examine the qualities of a friendship, all right, someone who's always there for you, okay, friend, a parent. Someone who has sacrificed for you, parent. Someone who's has your back and who's always going to be there for you, that's a parent. Someone who's going to let you stay at the house, not pay any rent, parent. Somebody who's going to let you eat food at the table, you ain't got to buy no food, parent. Someone who it has your best interest at heart, parent. There are some parents who confuse those responsibilities or those things with being a friend, because that's what friends do. And parents who do that evidently had some difficult times, and they had a friend to help them out of difficult times. But the friend that helped them was not their child. Are y'all with me? Was not their child. Okay. I want to thank the Instagram listeners who are on, and it's a very interesting topic. And I want to thank the Facebook folk on who are live. Very interesting topic. I mean, this has been sort of like Jack and I have been talking about this over the weekend, about this friendship thing. And the question is, how far does it go? How far do parents allow it to go? How far do I don't want to always apply this to women. There are some men who said their sons are their best friends. Now, we're not talking about grown folk. I'm not, if your kids are 21 years of age and older, I'm still not going to say it's all right, because I just don't believe in partying with my children. Are y'all with me? I just don't think my children should experience everything I experience as an adult. But it's according to what you think, it's according to your values, it's according to your beliefs. But I am going to share with you that it does affect children. It does affect children. And how does it affect them? It, first of all, gives them a false sense of security. It also doesn't give them the boundaries they need, the boundaries between what is a child and what is an adult's role. And sometimes the adults blur the roles. Right. Think about this. At a baseball game, you got your beer. You let your son drink beer, but he's only 8. You're saying, well, I don't see anything wrong with that. Boundaries. Boundaries. Let's even go further. You smoke weed, you let your 11-year-old hit it. Boundaries. 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 And those are dangerous boundaries. Dangerous boundaries. And then the worst is, not really the worst, it's when parents go double dating with their children. Double dating. So your child's out with their date, and as a single parent, you're out with your date. Folk, it sounds outlandish, but this is real. This is real. Because this is my best friend. I'm going to suggest that for those who need children as their best friends, to really take a look at what they're doing and really just take a look at how they are damaging their children, and even more importantly, the kind of message they're sending and the kind of emotional baggage they can possibly be creating. The kind of emotional baggage. 1 second, folks. My power source is going out, so I make sure I get this thing plugged back up. Yeah. So as we're talking about boundaries, as we're talking about should we become best friends, the answer is no. Miss Murphy on Instagram wrote a comment. She says, I have a foster daughter that has a relationship with her mother that I don't know what to do about it or how to stop it. Well, first of all, the question is what kind of relationship? And is that relationship about them being friends? You know, if the child has a maternal relationship, of course, you can't stop that. Even the child being in foster care, you can't stop that. Children who are abused, guess what? They love the abusive parents sometimes more than they love anyone else. So, but if the relationship is about the mother, I'm just hypothetical, doing drugs in front of the daughter, having men in front of the daughter, and all that kind of stuff, and saying that this is the daughter's my best friend. You see, sometimes parents use their children as their best friends because they've messed over everybody else. They burn down bridges with family members. They burn down bridges. They have no friends whatsoever. So they can only make their children become their friends when they burn down bridges everywhere else. But isn't that kind of selfish? Is that kind of self because I burned down bridges and because I've not done the things I should have done, and or I blame everybody for my mishap to life, and because I don't trust anybody, I now force myself upon my children, and now my daughter becomes my best friend, and my son becomes my best friend, and that's all I need in the world. Folk, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Okay, the Miss Murphy just talked about this. The mother who who has a child in foster care, and this daughter continues to become the best friend of the mother. Well, you know, the other thing about becoming best friend, the mother needs that child and wants that child to like love her and like see her differently. In other words, she's feeling guilty for what she's done because the child's in foster care, and now she either buys the child a whole lot or spends time with the child a whole lot. So in other words, she's trying to compensate for things she did not do. And in trying to compensate for the things she did not do, now she's becoming the child's best friend, and they can now share secrets. They can now share secrets. People, I'm saying this over and over again. For parents who become their children's best friend, it is dangerous boundaries. Dangerous boundaries. Let's not confuse this now. We're talking about who become the children's best friend. It is okay for parents to be friendly to their children. They ought to be friendly. They ought to be kind to a whole bunch of folk. But the key is, my son is never going to be my best friend because my son is my son. Are y'all with me? Now, my son may do excellent things for me, just like best friends do, but guess what? My son's not going to be my best friend because with my best friend, I share secrets. I share things about me I don't want my kids to know. It's my outlet. Are y'all with me? So, again, I'm not going to beat up on parents who do that. I'm just going to use the word again. You heard me say over and over again, dangerous. But one thing I didn't tell you why it's dangerous, right? It's dangerous because you're sending mixed messages to the child. You're also setting some standards that you're not going to want to see happen. I mean, you're saying that the child's my best friend. So if you're my best friend, I'm going to trust your judgment. I ain't telling my kids that I don't trust their judgment. So since you're my child and we're best friends, I'm going to trust your judgments because I know you're cool. And people, when you look at all the research on this, and it's not a whole lot of research, it's more so programs that talk about parents who befriend their children. Parents who befriend their children also manipulate their children. That's why I say it was dangerous, folk. Parents who befriend their children also are manipulating their children. Usually parents who want to befriend their children, folk, they're feeling guilty about something they have not done for the child. And they're trying to make up. But you can't make up for something you haven't done. You can't make up. I just say, as you begin to explore this friendship with your child, get ready for backlash and get ready for opposition. It's going to come. And the child's going to remind you of the things you did in front of them that you said were okay. And now all of a sudden they're not okay. Children don't, and watch my children like the teenager, they don't ever forget how you treated them. And what's interesting, they don't ever forget things you say. Children watch what you do, but some of them also listen to what you say. Gotta be careful what you say to your children. You're my best friend. For the child, if my parent told me that, guess what? Manipulation, here it comes. Hey, I need $50, best friend. Hey, I need to go to the movies and stay out there till 2 o'clock, best friend. Hey, I need to smoke, best friend. You got extra cigarette? Best friend? Oh, can I wear some of your clothes, best friend? Can I go out with your partner, best friend? Dangerous boundaries. Dangerous boundaries. I think it's just so important that we are very clear on parenting roles and the child's role. Parenting roles and the child's roles. What is parenting roles? To provide guidance, nurturing, support, safety, physical safety, psychological safety, self-esteem development. That's what the parent's role is. And trust me, if you're doing all those things, folk, you don't have time for a friendship because you're busy being the parent. We have enough responsibilities being the parent to our children, and to me, having no time or energy for that child to be my best friend. Think for a second. Think about your children. Best friend? Don't wash dishes when you tell them to? That's my best friend? Ignores me when they're angry with me? That's my best friend? Always want money from me? That's my best friend? If that's what you see as a best friend, I'll give you my number so you can make an appointment with me. We'll get you assessed and diagnosed. Because something definitely is not right. For parents who want children, to be their best friend. It's kind of interesting, though. It's not just teenagers, folks. I hear adults saying that a 5-year-old is their best friend, like the child's a puppy. I hear 8-year-old. I mean, 8-year-olds. I have a female parent who says that her two daughters, an 8 and 11-year-old, are her best friend in the world. She said they're her best friend. They're the best friend she has in the world, which means that her world is very limited. And her world has caused her a lot of pain. And her world has caused her not to be able to trust anybody. And her world has caused her not to be able to enter into appropriate relationships with adults. It's easier to be in a relationship with a child as a friend because you can manipulate them. But the child is not going to ever forget it. The child's not going to ever forget it. And guess what? Most children do not want their parents as friends. Think about that. Would you want your parents as a friend? I love my parents, but not as my friend. No, no. Think about that. Would you want your parents, I don't care how nice they were, I don't care how much they gave you, I don't care how much they did for you, would you want your parent as your best friend? Can you imagine that? Y'all hanging out in the car with the windows down, driving, talking about boys. Can you imagine your best friend dad is your son, y'all riding around, beer in the car and talking about picking up girls? I mean, I know you all are saying this sounds outlandish. Believe me, it is not, and it occurs on a daily basis. When adults, when parents make children their friends, it's okay to be friendly to your children. It's not okay for you to be friends with them. Now, some say, well, guess what? If you can control the boundaries, check this out. It says, if you can control the boundaries. The issue is, as an adult, yes, you can control the boundaries. The unfortunate thing is the child will have difficulty in controlling the boundaries because they're going to throw up in your face, but you said we were friends, and this is what friends do. Folks, I really want to thank you all for being tuned in with us tonight. And if you have any questions at this point, I'd be more than happy to answer any of the comments you have in the comment section. I do want to share with you, this is a very interesting topic to me, and we can go on and on talking about it because I have not been able to pull together yet while an adult, while a parent would want their child to be their best friend. I've given you some reasons why, but I still have not pulled it together as to what the parents' needs are and how they expect the child to fulfill those needs. I do want to share with you all that we are moving quite rapidly along with the company progressing. I'm going to share with you all, I need you all to go to Facebook at Miles Children and like us there because we're going to start broadcasting from that webpage. We're going to start broadcasting from that webpage. So please make sure you go and like us on at Miles Children on Facebook. We would not be using this platform again on Facebook. On Instagram, we need you all to also send us an inbox your email address. We want to start communicating with you more directly other than just on these platforms. I do want to say it's been a pleasure talking about this. Again, Jack is usually our co-host. She's not on tonight. She's headed back home to Florida. And we really missed her tonight. But guess what? You guys did well. You kept me on task. And I'm just very happy that you all are working with us and following us and that you are enjoying our broadcast. I do want to say also that certificates will be out this week. I promise. Really, I promise. I don't say I promise. They're definitely going to be out for all foster parents this week. We're working on them right now. And we have some of these foster parents who've been with us since January last year. They have a lot of training hours. So again, make sure that you go and like us on Facebook so you can get these live streams every week. Folks, it's been a joy being with y'all tonight. I look forward to seeing you next week. You've been absolutely wonderful. I hope I've been able to help you all. And if nothing else, folks, don't become best friends with your children. All right. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. And Jackie will be back next week also. Have a good one, folk.